Welcome to Module 6. This is the first of two modules where we're now going to move down from the slightly high level view of the market, policy and the outlook, and look at some of the more business level decisions about running a large farm or agribusiness. And we're going to, in this module, talk about issues around planning enterprises, planning labour and planning machinery. So in this module you will learn about the principles of enterprise and farm planning, farm staff organisation, structuring and developing management teams, and optimising machinery resources and planning machinery. So the first element in farm business planning is building up the enterprise plan. And this is a simple exercise that involves building both a physical and financial plan based on assessment of current and future resources. So current land, current labour, current machinery, and future developments to that in terms of future resources that may be available to the business. Farm business accounting works very similar to other industry accounting, albeit it uses some slightly different terminology. So the concept of direct costs in accounting is often translated to be variable costs within a farm business enterprise. So costs such as seeds, fertilisers, agrochemicals, animal feed, veterinary bills, livestock consumables are allocated against specific enterprises to arrive what in agriculture we call a gross margin by enterprise. So the margin of the enterprise less the costs directly related to it. And these plans are usually built up for larger businesses in spreadsheet modelling exercises, so looking at the relative performance of different enterprises at different output levels, different pricing levels and different cost levels. The use of linear programming, which is sort of basic economic modelling, was pioneered in this area in the 70s and 80s, and there was quite a lot of work done in this area, particularly at UK universities, building large linear programming models to optimise the enterprise combination of different farming businesses. In reality, that has limited commercial application today outside academia, but that would be the most academically robust way, one could argue, to build up a genuinely optimal enterprise plan. On top of the enterprise plan, we then go down to full farm planning, which takes the business down to the operating profit level. And quite clearly through this we go through the indirect costs that are not enterprise specific, and then the G&A costs or general and administrative costs that are associated with running a farming business. Again, typically in farming accounts these tend to be split out into the categories of labour, machinery, property and administration. But looking at a set of normal farming business accounts, they would not be dissimilar to those of a similar sized company in their style and layout. There are various imperfect methodologies to allocate these costs between between the enterprises, based on either turnover or pro rata in costs based on area, or indeed by reference to some kind of standard weighting. But most larger businesses now operate some kind of methodology to allow full enterprise costing, because particularly since the subsidies have been removed from most production systems in most parts of the world, getting down to cost per tonne of commodity, or cost per litre of milk, or cost per kilogram of beef is a pretty fundamental KPI to be able to assess the relativity of the various enterprises. And the key thing to do in all of this process is the performance of sensitivity analysis. Yields can vary widely, costs can vary widely, prices can vary widely, and the compound effects of these means the possible range of outcomes is substantial, and so this is important in terms of developing a risk management strategy. How do we manage operational farming risks? Well, as I already mentioned, there are a range of issues, particularly around price and yield. These are the two main variables in terms of farm business performance, and they're managed through good marketing, good risk management, which we're going to talk about in our later module, which is the subject of a module in its own right on commodity pricing, good procurement arrangements, operational excellence, effective monitoring and management expertise. We're going to talk about monitoring and management expertise within this module, because having the right management information systems to run a large complicated farming business is very important and is a fundamental part of the farm business organisation. So, in terms of risk management, a pretty standard approach to managing risks in terms of planning ahead, evaluating, communicating, implementing, monitoring and reviewing. So, building up a good, solid management information system that is going to deliver effective risk management to the business.